This show is brought to you by Directory.com, the safest way to hire a contractor.
Welcome back to Morning Brew with the Homeowners. I'm your host, Dmitry Lipinski. This is the best show for the homeowners. If you're the homeowner looking for advice or some spicy stories about hiring contractors, we have them for you on this show. You can always call us. You can always be a guest on this show. Today, we're covering 4 crazy stories about disputes with the contractors that did not go well for the homeowners for the most part. I have 2 co-hosts today, Adam Sant from Canada and Rory Knight from Seattle. Welcome to the studio, boys.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Absolutely. So here's the first story today. I'm going to get right into the juice. Homeowner loses $53,000. They did not read the fine print. And let's be honest, who reads the fine print? If you're watching us on YouTube, I want you to comment your thoughts on the fine prints, because I feel like lawyers make a lot of money because our habits of not reading the fine print. And actually, it cost me a couple $100,000 back in the day for just that. Here's the backstory. In 2019, Pam Walters' Delaware home was damaged by a fallen tree. She hired Gibellina Construction Co., hope I'm saying it right, Inc. for repairs, and they brought in Delaware Moving and Storage Inc. to move and store her belongings during the work. What went wrong was Waters claimed that while her property was moved and stored, many items, including antiques, jewelry, and art, were lost or damaged. It was a legal battle. Waters sued both companies, making claims for negligence, breach of contract, and fraud. She accused the moving company of losing or destroying $53,757 worth of items and said the construction company failed to supervise the move. Both companies denied responsibility, saying she signed a contract and did not choose a higher coverage amount. So accusations and evidence are very simple here. Waters says she wasn't allowed time to read the move-in contract, and she was told to just sign as her belongings were already loaded up. She insisted no one explained that by signing she was capping her damage claim at $20,000, far less than alleged value lost. The moving company's own estimator admitted that $20,000 coverage was always chosen for jobs referred by Gibellina, not based on actual property value. When Waters reported the losses, the moving company's insurer only paid $7,785 and demanded she sign a release cap and liability to add $20,000 to get more. So the outcome here, the judge found the $20,000 liability cap was clear and enforceable, even if Waters did not read or understand it. So takeaway from the homeowners here, read the contracts and know the liability limits before you sign. Document your property value and condition before any big project. Actually, it goes both for homeowners and the contractors. I've been in flooring business before. It was my first business. And one time the homeowner accused me of stealing his nightstand. We did not steal the nightstand. I have to come back to the property, open little door in that goes to the little room with the attic. So what we did when we were moving the furniture, we just opened the tiny little door and we just shoved the nightstands into little attic there. So I opened the door, sure enough, right there. But homeowners will accuse you of absolutely anything if you're not careful. So it's a good practice to take a lot of pictures before you start the projects. Some furniture can be damaged, some items can be already being broken or not in a brand new condition, and you're going to be liable for all of this. But also for the homeowners, whether it's hurricane coming your way or moving company coming your way, which can be the same experience, you want to document what you actually have. Guys, your take on this story?
Well, I want to know, like, if there's any homeowners listening, like, if you felt you were rushed to sign a contract, would you always do it? Like, I've, signed contracts at a number of different levels, business to business, business to consumer, and I've never felt like telling someone to just sign it was like my best strategy. So I just wonder, like, if there's other homeowners that feel like they get that. I don't know. I'd be interested to see that, because yeah, it just doesn't make sense, to me that, someone would say just sign and you would fall for that. Like, especially a person who would end up being litigious in the end, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they can't be a complete beta on one end and then be like the total aggressor and go file a lawsuit on the other. Like, you'd think that they would be. So I'm curious whether that happens more often than I think or I've seen.
It's a huge challenge, and it's so much more. I mean, communication is so much more than the contract. It's more than audible, but how they interpret information and how they just their practices. You have to feel out if maybe like Simon Sinek, you both align your whys. There's so many jobs that are good not to do. If a long enough time as a contractor, there's so many jobs I wish I'd never got involved in. And the homeowners may feel the same, where it's a lose-lose. And and especially if it's somebody's first contract, and this is big, and I know Dimitri talked a lot about this when we first started working together as a general contractor. When you're in somebody's home doing their kitchen, it's a horse of a different color. And they're probably going to hate you after 6 weeks, no matter how much they like you at first. And there's no way to control so many variables with delays, reveals, and their expectations change, and they don't realize some of the things we tell a homeowner, where we this project is just like every other project that's ever happened before it and will happen after it. I can't control supply chains. Guys will get sick. They will get stuck in traffic and things. You will get frustrated in different times, and we have to sit back down and like each other enough. And if it's their first project, I'm pretty leery. That it's hard
That's a
to make
good point.
expectations. It's a challenge that we can't control. It's an organized chaos.
Two things.
It's a really good point. The first project.
Yes, two things I want to know. I want to know how much the moving company actually got paid. We were moving into our studio recently, and I paid like, I want to say $1,200. Usually, average moving bill, I believe it's anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. You'll have 5-6 guys moving. Depending on the house. If it's a mansion, it's probably could be $3,000-$5,000. But that's number one thing I'm curious here. And number two, she accused the moving company of losing and destroying $53,000 worth of items. $53,000. I mean, what do you destroy? Like, what kind of items? I mean, flat screen TV, costs a couple grand maybe if it's on a higher end, right? Like, expensive jewelry not gonna get destroyed easily. What are you breaking? Vases? Like, it's just hard for me to believe. I think homeowners oftentimes will exaggerate the damage, and I've, like, in my construction years, I've dealt with a lot of homeowners who just not reasonable. They want you to take blame for, like, if you own an old house, and after the job you start noticing that your floors are squeaking. They probably were squeaking before. Right. And
Oh yeah, the ever since club. Ever since you came,
exactly,
all these things are wrong.
and
Ever since you came, before you came.
your furniture probably weren't brand new. Your items probably weren't, right. Like, just because we moved it one time doesn't mean that scratch was there or that was broke. I mean, I'm not saying that they did not damage stuff. I mean, they paid out $7,000, $800, whatever. But it's just like, were they throwing stuff in? Just curious.
Yeah, and I mean, in another breath, a person that's getting this moving contract would say $20,000 damage liability cap. Like, they're probably charging you for that 20,000. If it was 5,000, the insurance would be less. And they're thinking, you know what? I don't need to pay for $20,000. You're maybe gonna what? You're gonna break something that's glass, drop a dish. Like, I'm not gonna pay for $20,000 worth of damages when you might break $500 worth of stuff. So it goes either way.
Absolutely. In 2013, I moved from Atlanta, Georgia to Minneapolis, and I hired my best friend. I asked my best friend to move it. So we got 28-foot truck all the way in, and we did the move. We came back, and then for an entire year, I rented a storage unit and we could not find pets and ponds. Like we just like lost. And my wife was like, "Where is it?" We found it a year later. They were in a dishwasher stuck. Anyway, hire professional movers, sign the fine print. That's the lesson from this story. When we come back after the break, I have 133,000 lien that backfired on a homeowner. When we come back, don't go anywhere.